we're going to talk about everything electronic, whether it's e-filing on the e-portal, how to look up documents and dockets through e-service or e-case view. We also have e-service, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about confidential things that should not be in pleadings. So we're going to go through this today. We'll have another seminar the first Wednesday in May, on May the 3rd, and that is going to be on tax deeds and online auctions. So that should be an interesting one. All right, so the Palm Beach Clerk and Comptrollers, just to give you a little background, we are literally the keeper of the records. We don't give out legal advice. We don't consult with people. We literally take in the pleadings. We docket the pleadings. We are responsible for the files. We're responsible for the dockets. Now, do's and don'ts for the clerk. Like I said, we do not give out legal opinions. We don't give legal advice. We will talk to you about procedural, what needs to be explain a court process. And we will provide information that's in the court files that you're allowed to see. Technology made simple. This is what we're going to discuss today. We have e-filing, which is how you can electronically file your documents through a state e-portal system. You don't need to file in the mail. You don't need to come and stand in the clerk's front counter and file in paper. You can do it online. E-case view, that is here to Palm Beach County. This is our court system, how you can look up on the internet at home, anywhere you want. You can look up case information about different cases. You can see the dockets, and in some instances, you can literally look at the pleadings that were filed in a case. E-service, that is how you accept documents by way of email. I don't want to receive it in the mail. I want to get it by email, and you can sign up for that. We also have available technology in our self-service center. Now, we have self-service centers in every single courthouse in Palm Beach. So whether you're in South County, in Delray, you're out west, out in Belle Glade, up in Palm Beach Gardens off of PGA, or here, we have a self-service center. Our self-service center is here on the main floor. If you go out these doors, it's right to the right. We have a nice, large self-service center, and in there we sell packages. Now, we gave everyone a list of, here we have single forms and packages. This is what we sell in the self-service center. These packages, depending on what you pick, like I grabbed a couple. This one is packet number 47, landlord-tenant evictions for failure to pay rent. These are instructions and forms of what you need to file if you need to evict someone. We also have petition for simplified divorce. We have it for if you have dependents with children, property. The list goes on and on. There are 70 different packages that we sell in our self-service. Now, the forms are all Florida Supreme Court approved forms, but what we've done, if you went on the Florida Supreme Court website, you can find the forms listed individually. What we've done is put it in a package with instructions telling you this is when this should be filed, your civil cover sheet, your complaint, how you do it. So we have a complete package here, but we are using Florida Supreme Court forms. We also have a community resource rack in our self-service here. We have different services around our partners who advertise families against court travesties, sexual battery, your rights and services, adult victims of childhood abuse, taking charge, ADA, 10 ways to avoid fraud. There's a resource for everyone if you need help, and we have it both in English and Spanish. We also have here in our self-service center, we have a nice size little child's room. Sitting there filling out packages, children get a little restless. We have a nice little room. They can read some books, sit down and relax where they're not running around or trying to lose your concentration on what you're doing. We also have a video relay service, hearing impaired. We have one in our self-service. As you can see, this nice lady is sitting there and she is able to sign with someone on the TV, which is quite nice. We also have private little cubicles. You need to fill out your forms, need to look on some computers. We have that in our self-service center. We also have a 211 phone. 211 is not only for services that if you are in need of any kind of help, like I need to find out where I can get food stamps. I need help with child services, elder abuse, I'm in a crisis situation and I need to talk to someone. That's the 211 phone, and we have one available in our self-service department. Now, in every self-service department, we have a computer set up with a scanner. So if you don't have the ability to e-file at home, and you don't have the ability to download or scan a document, we have it right there. You can sit down, you can sign in, you can scan your documents, and you can e-file right there in our self-service center. Now, e-filing. What is e-filing? It's an easy way. You get rid of the paper, making copies, having to come stand in line, having to mail. It is an easy way to file your court pleadings. I can tell you right now, back on September the 1st of last year, it is mandatory in Palm Beach, all attorneys must e-file. Unless they have to give me an original document or our clerks an original document, they must e-file. So all attorneys are e-filing. They're not doing paper. It's a way of conserving. Pro se, you're allowed, and when I say pro se, you are without an attorney. You're filing yourself. You do not have to e-file, but you are allowed to e-file, and you can e-file just like everybody else. And I'm going to show you how to e-file. It's very simple. Anyone can e-file. You can file from your home, your office, or our self-service center. You can file, if you're at home, you can file 24 hours a day. The portal's open all the time. So if a pleading is due today, you have till midnight. It's no longer 5 o'clock when the clerk, or 4 o'clock when the clerk's office closed that you need to get it here. If you're e-filing, you have until midnight tonight, and it's open 24 hours a day. Now, how do I e-file? The very first thing you need to do is go on to myfloridacourtaccess.com. This entire slideshow, PowerPoint presentation, will be on our website, so you can always go back to it to look. But myfloridacourtaccess.com. This is used by every clerk of courts in the state of Florida. It's one e-portal for everybody. You want to go to File Now. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to register. So you can register online. So when you click on the e-filing portal, you look down here and it's gonna say register. That's what you want to click on, because otherwise, if you have your username and password, you're going to put it in right here. But until you register, you need to register first. When you go on the roll, when you go to register, you got to pick who you are. If you're an attorney, that's fine. But if you are a pro se, you want to pick self-represented litigant. That's what you are. You're not an attorney, you're a self-represented litigant. So the e-portal needs to know who you are and what role you're playing. We also have roles for court reporters, media, a mediator. So you want to pick self-represented litigant. Once you do that, it's going to take you to the screen, and literally this is pretty self-explanatory. It's like filling out any other form you would fill out. You can pick a username, a password. You're going to then put in some security questions. You're going to put in your name. Now, you got to put in a primary email address. The whole point of e-filing is that you will also receive documents that are given to you through your email. You're not going to get paper. You're going to get emails from everybody with your document, with the document that was filed attached to it. So you put in your primary email address, and you're allowed 2 alternate email addresses. Sometimes that's used by attorneys who want their paralegal or their secretary to also get the email, or if you have 2 emails set up, you're not sure, you can put in up to 2 more email addresses. You put in your address, your phone number, and you register. The e-portal will send you an email. It's usually within 2 days. I don't want to say it's a 24-hour turnaround, but most of the time it is. But within 2 days, they are going to send you your username and your password, and you're good to go. So once you get your username and password, and it's pretty quick, you will then start to e-file. Now I'm going to show you something that's coming in the future that is really cool. We've been working on it for a couple years. We're waiting for it to go forward. But in the future, when you go on as a pro se litigant, you're going to have 2 options. And it's going to say, I have my documents prepared and I'm ready to e-file. Or it's going to say, I want to generate a DIY document, do-it-yourself document. And right now this is in the test phase. We're hoping to get it set up hopefully by the summertime or sooner. But if you check on this one, it's going to give you 3 options. And right now there are going to be 3 on the e-portal: evictions, small claims, and family divorce, but it's simplified. No children, no property. If you want to pick one of those, do it yourself. And I picked I picked family. I said, all right, I want to do a simplified dissolution. It's going to give me instructions on what I need to do. And then, does anybody do TurboTax when they do their taxes? Go online and you answer the questions. And by the end of it, your 1040's filled out and you're like, oh my gosh, they did it. That's what this is. This is going to ask you questions. You start your interview and you're going to click on these and it's going to ask you questions about your case. And when you're done, your petition is filled out and ready to be e-filed. So this is very exciting. We've been, like I said, we've been working a couple years on getting it, but it's just like TurboTax. It's going to ask you questions and you're going to get closer and closer to the courthouse. And by the end of it, your document is all filled out for you and all you have to do is e-file it. So that is coming. But we'll get to what is now and what you can do now. So when you sign on to the e-portal, you're going to get the state of Florida. And like I said, this e-portal is for every clerk of courts in the state of Florida. It's used by all of us. So not just Palm Beach County. You get to pick. So if you're sitting here today and you have something to file in Broward, it's going to be very simple. You use the same e-portal. If you are up in Leon County in Tallahassee, the same portal, same username, same password. You don't need another one because you're filing somewhere else. You can file in any county you want. It gives you the choice of doing case initiation. I got a new case. Or there's already an existing case and I need to file something on it. So you get a choice. And then this little drop down has you, and let me go back a second. This is going to pick your county. Before I go to the next screen, I want to show you right up here in the upper right hand corner. You're going to see this as we go along in the e-portal on a lot of the screens, and it's a help. There's help. The little green books are resources, and that little purple camera, if you click on it, if you don't understand the page, you click on that little camera, literally a YouTube video appears, and they literally have like a 2-minute video, and it walks you through the page saying, okay, this is what you need to do on this page. So they have those little cameras on every page, so you can't get stuck. They're going to help you through it every single time. So when you go to do a case, you want to pick which county. So we're going to pick Palm Beach, and I'm going to pick an existing case. So I'm going to work on that first. So once I pick Palm Beach County, it's going to say, okay, you're going to get little tabs: case information, case parties, documents, our service list, fees and payments, and review and submit. Now, we're going to put some information in here. I want to bring your attention to this little arrow down here. It says there's a little box and it says emergency filing. Be very careful with emergency filings. Unless it's an emergency, don't click that box. The emergency means it's an emergency for the judge to see. We have to stop what we're doing as clerks when we get that. It comes to the top of the list, and we have to run it up to the judge. If the judge starts getting things from people that is not an emergency filing and he makes the decision at the end, or she, they're not too happy. So it has to be an actual emergency, and your motions should say, if you're filing something that's an emergency, your pleading or what you're filing better say emergency on it, or we think you accidentally hit the button. So be very careful with the emergency button. What you want to do here is, we're in Palm Beach County, we know that. It's going to ask you what division, and the drop down gives you choices. It's an appeal, it's circuit civil, circuit criminal, civil traffic, county civil, county criminal, criminal traffic. You need to know what area you're filing in. So you need to pick your division. I pick circuit civil. And then you need to put in your case. Now, in Palm Beach County, we love our numbers. So a lot of times you'll see 50, then you'll see the year 2017, 2016, then you'll see some case numbers. Then we like to put in a lot of X's. And then at the end of that, we like to put MB, NB, SB, WB. Those are our branches. That's where your case has been assigned. Main branch, North branch, South branch, or West. So when you see the MB, the SB, the NB at the end of your case, that's just telling you what branch you're assigned to and where you'll be seeing the judge if you go to see the judge. So really all it needs here, this is 2017 CA, Circuit Civil, and the case number was 112. All I need to put in is 2017 and 112. That's all I need. And when you do that and you hit search, right here it's going to show you the case. Now what you want to look at, you want to make sure, is this the case I wanted? Maybe I put in the wrong number. Home Point Financial Corp versus David Bradley. Is that my case? And it's a foreclosure case. So I look at it and I go, okay, yeah, that's the case I wanted. So I'm good to go. So I'm going to go, all right, I'm good. Now, as you can see, it takes you from case information, it's moved me to case parties. And it's just moving me along the different tabs. So now here I am on an existing case. Who am I? So I need to pick who I am. I'm either listed here or I'm a new party. So I'm going to say I'm one of these. I'm either a defendant, plaintiff, respondent. I'm someone. You need to pick on an existing case who you are. If you are brand new to the case, you need to add yourself, and I'm going to show you how to add later, but there's an add party screen here for an existing case. Once you pick who you are, then it takes you to the document screen. Now the document, you need to add it. This is almost like if you're doing an email and the little paper clip, you're doing pretty much similar, the same thing. So once you click on, okay, I'm ready to add my document, it's going to take you to a screen, and as you can see, there's a lot of pages. We put all of the document names in alphabetical order. Now who wants to sit and click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to try to figure out, I'm filing a motion, I don't really want to go through to find out where it is. So at the top here, under the search, I put in name of my motion, what I'm doing. So I typed in summary judgment. So I want to find summary judgment, and I really don't want to go through 9 pages to try to figure out where it is. When I click in summary judgment, it brings me motion for summary judgment. That's the name of my pleading. Yay. So I'm good. I'm going to click on this box, and then it's going to ask me how many pages. You need to know how many pages you're filing. So let's say I have a 3-page document. I want to put in 3. When I go to browse to attach it, if I download a 4-page document, it's going to tell me I made a mistake. It either thinks I picked a wrong document and I need to do it again, or I need to change my page number. So it'll know if you did three pages or if you did 4. Once you put in 3 and you clicked, it's going to bring you to, when you go to browse, it's going to bring you to your documents, and you want to pick the document that you want to download. PDF is the best case scenario. You want to get your document in PDF. It does accept Word document, it accepts WordPerfect. However, it will tell you that there's a warning up here. If you do Word, you got to take out the metadata. You want to take out the metadata. There's a whole video on that, so you can watch the little purple video on metadata. I know I have some IT people in the back. I can't even begin to explain what metadata is, but I know it's something in the background. PDF is easiest. PDF, if you can PDF. We can PDF in the self-service center, so that's what you want to do, is take your PDF document and insert it into the browser. I want to go over about signatures. A lot of times we sign our pleadings with our name, but when you're filing through the e-portal, and I used my signature here at the clerk's office, an electronic signature, when you're, let's say you type something at home and you type up your document, you don't have to print it out and sign it and then get it back in your computer, because this is considered a proper electronic signature for the e-portal. So if you're e-filing, all you have to do is /s/ and your name. You can do /, you can do /s. I don't know why they give us 3 choices, but you can pick. But this is considered your electronic signature, so you don't have to print it back out. Just do the electronic on your signature line, and this is good to file, so you don't have to print it out. We don't need an original signature on that. So once you download it, you're going to see, and I can add as many documents as I want until I get up to 25 megabytes. I can't go over 25 megabytes, and you can see over here, it tells you how many size. Now this was I think these were a couple 3-page documents. One's 3, one's a 2. You can see I'm not even at 1 megabyte. I was working with it the other day, and someone downloaded 2,034 pages document. We were just testing it, and it still didn't get to 25 megabytes. But if you get to 25 megabytes when you're downloading a document, you're going to have to finish this and do another document, another e-filing. The e-portal can only take 25 megabytes at a byte. So you can check it over on the size. Once you are finished putting all your documents, and you can keep adding. You just do the same thing. You can keep adding, and then you can hit the next button. Once you get to next, it's going to take you to the fund service list. Now, we're on an existing case, so there are already people on this case. There are attorneys, there's parties. So it's going to bring you to the service list, and you must, every pleading that you file in court, you must provide a copy to the other side. Right now, if you're not on the e-portal, you must make copies of what you e-filed, and you got to mail it to all of them. But if you e-file and they are in the e-portal, and they've all signed up for the e-portal, you can do service right here. All you have to do, you can either do serve all of them, or if you know the people on it, and you cannot, if there are people on a case, do not pick and choose. They must have service. You have to serve everyone that's active on the case. So you either click individual buttons or you can pick serve all. It's going to give service to everybody. Once you're done, the fees are going to show up. And I don't know why this got cut off, but the fees are going to show up. And there was no fees on this particular case whatsoever. It's going to then ask you to review what you've got. And it's going to tell you the service list. It's going to tell you what you filed. Yes?
Just want to back up to all the other people who are involved. Does that mean I have to give them my log-on and password so they can get in there?
No. Because all of these people that are on the e-portal, they've been in it, they're getting e-service, they're already signed up on the e-portal. When you sign up on the e-portal and you get a username and password and you have decided to e-file something on the e-portal in a case, you have told the other parties, I agree to receive all of the pleadings by email and electronically. They do not have to send you anything in paper. You have said for the remainder of this case, I'm going to receive it through email. Yes, sir?
Okay. Just work me through the following. I type a piece of paper, an affidavit, into my computer.
Yes.
How do I get it from my computer through there?
Well, when we went backwards a little bit, let me go back here real quick. It's in your computer and you have it saved in your computer.
Okay.
Okay? Now, you mentioned the word affidavit, which you got to look at the rules depending on your case. It may need an original signature, an affidavit, which means you would have to sign it. It may get notarized. That's going to take paper. Then you can scan it into your computer. You can save it as a PDF. And then when it goes to browse, you tell us how many pages. We have a document called affidavit. You hit the browse and you find your affidavit that's in PDF form. And you just download it. So every document is downloaded just like the little paper clip in your email. Yes?
Yeah, if I'm the plaintiff, I guess, and I do all this, because I'm going to be pro se, am I required to tell the defendant that he's got to sign up for this?
No, and we'll get to that in just a minute because I'm going to do new cases in just a second. So the people here on the service list have all agreed, because they've been e-filing too, they've agreed to receive all the pleadings by email. So as soon as you hit serve all, and I'm going to show you, it goes through the fees, it asks you to review, these are the people I want to get it, this is the document they're going to get. It is going to give you a confirmation, filing received confirmation. You're going to see the case number, and then you're going to see a reference number. If something happens or you have an issue and it doesn't show up, or someone says they didn't get it or you can't find it, this reference number is great for the clerk's office. And you can either print this, it gives you an ability to print, or in your username and password, you're going to have up in the upper right-hand corner, and I'll show that in a second, it says My Cases. Once you start filing on a case, it's listed under your My Cases, and you can find your reference number for all of these. But as soon as you do this, all the other parties that you hit serve all just got an email with that pleading attached and said, there's been a filing in this case. And that is considered service on the other parties. So let's go to a new case. And I was just telling you, see up here in the upper right, once you have a username and password, My Cases, you go on there, it's going to list all the cases that you've ever had or that you're working on that you're e-filing in. So new cases, case initiation. And you're going to, again, it's going to bring you to a screen again. You're going to have the same tabs. You're going to pick, this time I'm going to pick county civil. Now here it wants a little bit more information. It wants to know what kind of county case. So you got county civil 5,000 to 15. You got evictions, replevin, and small claims. So you have a few choices. If you pick circuit civil, it's going to give you some other choices. So you want to pick the case type. So I picked county civil. So of course it wants to know a subtype. Okay, so it gives me the list. So is it a foreclosure? Is it a PIP case? Is it a wage dispute? What is it? I need to choose one of those. Once you choose, I just chose a matter involving a claim of 5,000 but less than 15. Then it's going to ask you, well, how many defendants? It's figuring you're initiating a case that you're the plaintiff or petitioner. So it's asking you, how many defendants are you suing? So you need to put in the number of defendants. It automatically, let me just show you here, because of the case you picked, it's telling you what your filing fee is going to be. This one in county civil, it's $300. So it's already tallying up what you're going to owe at the end. So let's say I picked one defendant. Now it's going to bring me to the case parties. Well, I have no parties on it yet because I'm initiating a case. I need to add the party. So just like in the other case where you go on to a case, you're either already a defendant on that case or you need to add yourself. So adding a party is just like adding a document. You click on Add Party. It's asking you, what role are you playing here? Well, you need to put in your information first. And it gives you a whole list. So you want to pick, I'm the plaintiff in the case. So I am the one filing. I'm the plaintiff or petitioner. The defendant is either the defendant or the respondent. You have a lot of choices, but these are cross appeals, appellant, appellee, and you're the primary party. Plaintiff and defendants are primary parties. Now, only in this field on behalf of would be an attorney filing on behalf of a plaintiff or defendant. So you only want to pick primary party, and let's pick plaintiff. We're going to then put in the person's name, your name and your information, your address, and you're going to put that information in, and as you can see on the party screen, it is now added the plaintiff and petitioner. I just put in Jane Smith. I want to click it again. I need to put in the defendant. So again, it takes me to the party screen, the defendant, they're a primary party, and I want to put in their information. Now, just because you put in their information, it does not mean they're going to get their documents by e-filing or through the e-portal or through email. They have not agreed to yet. They didn't get a username and password. So if you're going to file a new case through the e-portal, you're getting all your documents electronically, but the other party, until they agree to go on the portal and do it, you need to send them paper. They have to agree. So even if you put an email address in here for the defendant, you technically are not allowed to just email them and say, I'm good to go. Yes, ma'am.
How would we know whether or not they've
Until they are served and you have to personally serve them, you will not know. And then they start filing on this case, then you will know. Because you'll start getting emails from them that they electronically filed. So once you put the parties in, defendant and plaintiff, then it's pretty much the same thing. Documents. You're going to add your documents just like we did before. You need to pick. Am I picking a complaint? I need to file the complaint. It takes you and it lets you pick. Also, most of the cases, civil cover sheet. So you're going to add a couple things when you're first pleading. So you got your complaint, civil cover sheet. And I also have to serve them, so I need to do a summons. So you go and you do service. I need to serve the defendant, so I need a summons from the clerk's office. So it's going to ask you a 20-day summons, 5-day summons. It depends on the kind of law you're in and what you're doing. 20-day summons. If the clerk prepares it, you don't need to do this, but otherwise you need to download the summons so that it can be issued by the clerk. You download it again, same thing. Once you have done that, again, it's going to take you to the service list and the fees. Now, the service list, your defendant, again, has not agreed. So you can't serve them anyway, the complaint. You got to personally serve them. So the filing fee, you have $300 filing fee. Then you have $10 for the summons that the clerk's going to issue. It's a $10 service fee. So your total amount is $310. If you are in small claims county, you have the ability now, the court sends you to mediation during the pendency of your case, and I believe it's a $60 fee because it's done here in the courthouse. You can go on to your case on the e-portal, and you can now, and they have little news and information up here, but they just started in September where you can pay your mediation fees online, which is kind of cool. So if you want to pay your mediation fees online, you would go to the document, mediation, type in mediation, and here it is. Notice of payment of mediation, $60. And it's going to allow you to pay online, so you don't have to pay at the clerk's office in line. And here it comes up, fees, $60 for the mediation fee. Now, it gives you options to pay. Option 1, provide the payment information. Option 2, I'm requesting a fee waiver, indigency. I think there's a couple listed. Pawnbrokers, government agencies, and adoption are different. But you're either going to pay with a credit card, you're going to pay with a check, savings, or bank account. You can put in your account information there. If you want for your cases, if you're going to do a couple cases, or you're not sure what, they can save the payment information. It'll always be there when you go to pay. But it gives you those options. If you are going to do the option request a filing fee, it's going to ask for the waiver reason. Why? And here are your reasons. You're either indigent, you're exempt under 28345, that's the government exemption. 539 in the AOs here in Palm Beach County, that's either adoption or, like I said, the pawnbrokers, and then of course the writ of habeas. You also, if you're going to do indigent, you have to fill out the form and you have to attach it. It has to be approved by either the clerk of courts or the court. Now, that is e-filing. That it is very simple. Once you get your username, password, that's how you can e-file. It's very, you know, you don't have all this paper, making files. Everything's right there in the court proceeding. E-case view. Now, e-case view is here at Palm Beach County. This is our system of how you can look up other cases. You can look at the docket. Some people come here to the courthouse and they will go onto our computers. They're looking for a document, they're looking for a form. We are trying to go totally paperless and fileless here in the clerk's office. So when you file through the e-portal, there is no paper for us. We docket it onto your case, and what's on the case in the computer is what we consider an original document. We don't make up a paper file. We don't have a paper file. We still have a little bit of the judges hanging on with paper, but we try to be totally paperless and fileless. So when you come to the courthouse and you want to see something, when you say, I want to see a file, a lot of times we're going to send you right over to the computer and say, go look up what you need, and then you'll be able to see it. If you can't, then it's either confidential, there are different reasons. So our e-case view, you don't need to come to the courthouse to do this. You can do this at home. You can do it on your iPad. You can do it on your iPhone. So e-case view, fabulous, fabulous. When you go on to the clerk's website, My Palm Beach Clerk, it says search court records right here, and it literally lists e-case view online cases. Now, there are certain things by statute that we are not allowed to put over the internet. So, county civil, circuit civil, a tort, med mal case, criminal cases, you can see those all you want all day long. But family cases, juvenile cases, probate, guardianship, mental health, these are things that by statute we're not allowed to put over the internet. And that is by statute, it's all throughout the state. So these cases, you may be able to see the docket, the list of what, you know, the case with the case parties and maybe the dockets, but you're never going to see the actual pleadings. They don't allow us to send it over the internet. You may come here to the courthouse. I know, like the mental health cases, you could come to the front counter of the of our family and you could see a mental health case, but we're not putting it over the internet. So when you go on e-case view, you have two choices. You can sign on as a guest, anonymous. Just sign on, I want to search. You can also be a registered user. The difference between a guest and a registered user, the registered user has a little bit expansive search option, like maybe you know the driver's license number of the person. That's all it's giving you. So it's up to you. A lot of people, anonymous guest, you can just go on as a guest. You don't need to sign up. You don't need to get a user number. Now what are you going to see? You're just going to go on. If you want to sign up, you can use the registration form. It's just like the e-portal, and we send you a username and password within 24 hours. This is the registration form. It has to be notarized or signed by the clerk, so you have to do it in person, or you can download the form, fill it out, get it notarized, and bring it into us. That's if you want to be a registered user. Otherwise, when you go on e-case view as a guest or as a registered user, you're just either going to type in the case number, last name of the person. I mean, this is pretty simple all throughout the state of Florida in all the clerk's offices. Everyone should have a search engine where you're searching for the court records. So you're just going to put in last name, first name, middle name, as much as you know. And I'm pulling up a civil case first, so I just put in a number. I just put in a circuit civil number. And this is my search results. I got both the plaintiff and the defendant, their name. So I can click on either one of these. It's both the same case number. It's just the plaintiff. It's just telling you who's the plaintiff, who's the defendant. So when I click on it, in circuit civil or in civil cases, we have the tabs right across the top. So the case info, it's telling me the case, it's telling me the division, it's telling me the case status. This case happens to be closed. But let's look at the party names. This not only tells me the judge, well, in this case, this is a closed case. So the last judge on the case, Oftedal, tells me the plaintiff and petitioner, and then it tells me the names of the attorneys that were on that case. Dockets. This is what everybody wants to see. We want to see it. So this is a docket. This tells you that We started out, we had some information, we have a civil cover sheet, a complaint, summons, receipt for payment. So this is the docket. This tells you what's been filed in the case. Now, there's 3 icons you need to look for. If it's a paper icon like this, you can click on it and see it right now. You don't have to wait. It's available right now. If there is nothing next to it, it's either there is no document or you're not allowed to see it at all. So it's like, don't even ask, you can't see it. In this case, this I know, we just didn't have documents for it. It's notes we put in when we're opening up a case. This receipt for payment, again, not a document. If it has a lock next to it, a yellow lock, that means it could be a sensitive information and we've locked it down. You can request it. We want to take one more look at it because we want to make sure we don't give out any information that shouldn't be out there on the public. But you can request it, and within 3 business days, it will be ready to be looked at. Once it's unlocked, it changes to a paper, and only one person ever has to unlock it. You never have to keep unlocking it. We're only going to look at it one more time. So if you see the lock, if you see the little clock, that means someone has asked for the lock to be open, and we're working on it. So as soon as it turns to paper, you can look at it. As you can see in this case, I pulled it up, we have three locks here on this case. So if you wanted this one, answers to requests for admissions to plaintiff. There could be information that they filed that has some privileged information or confidential that we need to take one more look at, make sure we redacted what we were supposed to redact. Once you look at the document, I pulled up a civil cover sheet. You're going to see this watermark across it. All the pleadings are going to have that watermark. That's for security concerns. But you're able to read the document. You're able to see what's on it. If you want to print it, it's very simple from your home. You have the printing tube. You can email it. You can save it onto your computer. It gives you that ability. If you want to print the docket, so this is the docket on the case, and I'd like to print it, just right-click. When you right-click, you can hit print, you can hit print preview, and you can print up the docket if you're looking for just the docket. This is just a docket I printed up. It's 2 pages, and it shows you, what you can see. That's just a normal docket of what's on a case. Family. I talked about family earlier, pro se. When you look up a family case, you see the docket. You can see there's no paper, there's no locks, there's nothing. You can't see it over the internet. And that's just the rule. So we show you the docket. You can see, a payment of $443 filed by petitioner for dissolution of marriage. You can see a little bit about what's going on. It tells you what was done, petition, parenting plans, affidavits, but you can't see the actual forms. You can also go to the court case fees. It tells you exactly what kind of fees have been paid on the case. Registry fees, anything like that, so if you're interested. Also, if you're on a case and you're looking at your case and you're going, I remember paying something, but I can't remember when I did it. If you go onto the case fees and you go down here, what's great about it, when you filed, it gives you the receipt numbers, which the clerk loves to have. So if you're trying to find something, if something's gone wrong, you have this page and you can look at it for your information. Now, I pulled up a criminal case. Criminal's got a little bit more tabs across. They have more information on their cases, but it's the same premise. You're going to search. You're going to search with the names. It's going to give you have the same codes. You either have the piece of paper, you have nothing, you have the lock, and you're going to have the clock. It's the same premise. If it's a lock, you can ask for it to be unlocked. The little clock will appear. When it turns to paper, you can look at it right away. They're going to have also charges and sentences, so the person's charges are on there. You're also going to have their court events every time they went to court. You're going to have warrants and service documents are listed here. And you're going to have arrest and bonds also on the criminal side. So you can look at those on our e-case view also. E-service. We talked about this a little later. Let's say I don't want to e-file. I don't want to do that. I don't want to, I don't want to e-file, but I also don't want, and we get this a lot, I don't want to get things in the mail because people steal my mail, or I'm not really getting my mail. The postman's not always correct. I want to get things by email. I don't mind getting things by email, but I'm not going on the portal. That's fine. E-service allows you to fill out a form, file it in the complaint that says, look, I'm okay with getting e-service. You can email me the documents. This form, we sell it in the self-service, but you can fill notice of designation of email address for e-service. You are agreeing, I can receive things by email. I don't want you to mail things to me. It disappears, or you always tell me email me, but you're really not emailing me. Or you're not mailing things to me. I want to get it by email. Email's nice because it makes a nice trail. You know exactly when it's coming, or they can prove that they emailed it to you. So this is always nice in a case if you don't want to file on the e-portal, but you want to get e-service. The rules of civil procedure, and I'm going to give you a website later, it's the Florida Bar, that's going to tell you exactly where you can go over the rules, because I mentioned a lot of rules today. Rules of civil procedure are great to review. The rules of judicial administration is another great thing to read through. But rules of civil procedure 2.516. If you're going to serve someone by email with a document, when you get something from the e-portal, it's quite interesting because you're going to get it in this process. But when you send someone an email and you're attaching a document that you're filing in a case, 2.516 says you must follow these rules, which means in the subject line of the email, this has got to be all in caps. And the case number's got to follow it. And oh, by the way, the body of the email, the court where it's proceeding, the case number, the name of the initial party, which is the plaintiff, the title of each document that's in that email, the sender's name, your telephone number, the total size of the email. 5 megabytes is the size you can send in an email. That's it. And then it can be signed again with that great electronic signature, /s/ or /s or s/, but you have to follow the rules of civil procedure. Pro se, attorney, they all have to follow the same rules. So take a look at the rules of civil procedure. It's a great way of learning some of the tricks. 2.516 is a great one if you're going to do email service to someone. The last thing I'm going to talk about is confidential information. The rules of judicial administration. Probably the most important 2 rules are 2.420 and 2.425. And that says that when you file things, there are certain things that you should redact before you file it. 2.420 requires things to be redacted. 2.425 tells the filer, you must do this. I can't fix it. If you send it and under 2.425 you haven't redacted, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to go to the judge and ask him to do it. But 2.420 tells us you should do this. Now, when you read these 2 rules, this is what should be redacted. All numbers should be redacted on Social Security, bank account, credit card, charge of cards, debit accounts, and your year of birth. All the numbers. Now, so if your birthday is January 1st, 1972, you only need to redact 1972. But it's still all numbers of a Social Security. We should never see a Social Security number on a pleading, ever. Ever, 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 ever. So, an example, my name is Susan Brown. My Social Security number is 222-11333. Really, how it should look, my name is Susan Brown. My Social Security number is, and redact it out. It should not be in the pleading when you file it. So, this is a pleading that has been filed in our court, and as you can see, they've done a really good job of redacting this document with a lot of information. Because once, let's say you're in a circuit civil case or a county civil case, and you file it and you put on the petition your Social Security number, we docket it, it gets out there, and someone's on eCase View, they're looking at it right now. That's how fast it happens. It happens quickly. It is not a confidential document because your Social Security's in it, so it's going out there to everyone. So when I told you about the little lock boxes, we look for certain information that we feel could be quite sensitive, and we try to catch it. If you are not redacting, then I'm going to tell you what you can do. Now, also under the rules, the last 4 digits of these documents, you should be redacting. You should not be putting the entire number in there. So your tax ID number, employee identification number, driver's license, last 4 digits, not the whole thing, just the last 4 digits. Passport number, telephone number, financial account numbers, brokerage, insurance policy numbers, loan account numbers, customer account, patient health care. Now, a lot of these, if the clerk were to see these, I wouldn't know what that was. I wouldn't know what number you're putting in there. So I'm not going to be redacting. That's why you need to redact, and the rules say you should be redacting this information before you put it in. So an example, my name is Susan and my driver's license number is, telephone number, and insurance policy number. Okay, so we've got 3 numbers that we're dealing with here. This is how it should look, and this is how it should be redacted when it's filed with the clerk's office. There is also what they call truncating or partial. So an email address, a computer username, a password or a PIN number and I put them in right here. And I just truncated it. You can redact front, back, doesn't matter. It just says truncate part of it. If you do not do that, if you do not redact the document yourself before filing, you must file a notice of confidential information within the court filing when you're filing the pleading. I didn't redact anything, but I can tell you this, my social security number is on page 4 in paragraph 3. My driver's license number, whatever you want, and if it's under the rules, the clerk will see this and we will redact it. But if you file something and you say your home address, and I don't think my home address should be out there and I want it redacted, it is not under the rules 2.420 or 2.425. We're not going to redact it. We're going to tell you we're not going to redact it, and then you have to file. You have a certain number of days pursuant to the rule to get in front of the judge and explain to the judge why your home address should not be out there in the public. And that's for the judge to decide. We will keep the entire pleading aside for, I believe the rule says 10 days. You must get it in front of a judge by that time. If you don't, it's out there in the public. But you must get in front of a judge. So you got to be very careful with the rules and what you're asking. We will look at it. We'll let you know we don't agree with you and you need to go in front of the judge. So we have these in the self-service center. Make sure that you fill one of these out. I told you earlier the rules. Rules of procedures, all the rules. myfloridabar.org. If you go on myfloridabar.org and you go in the upper right-hand corner, it'll say rules at the top of the page. Click on rules and then click on rules of procedure. You'll find all the rules of civil procedure, criminal procedure, juvenile procedure, appellate procedure. You'll see the rules of judicial administration, and you can go through them and you can find it. Also, our website, the court admin's website, Florida Court Access, of course, that's the e-portal. But these are all available to you. The self-service center, we're always there to help. Again, we sell self-service packages. We also have, while we cannot give out legal advice, we do have attorneys that are there for appointments, and it's $1 a minute, and usually they set appointments at 15 minutes. So $15. If you cannot, if you're having difficulties filling out your package, you're not sure what to file, procedurally, they can meet with you and give you procedural information. They cannot give you legal advice, but they can at least procedurally help you with the packets and what you should be doing as far as the packets. Does anybody have any questions?
Sure. Do I have, if I serve someone, can I serve someone and then do the e-file, or do I have to do the e-file and then serve someone?
You can do e-filing at any stage that you want to, but once you start e-filing for the rest of the case, you have agreed to e-file.
So it's okay to, because I'm thinking,
Yes.
if he wants to settle before,
Absolutely.
you know,
It does, getting on the e-portal and doing things electronically doesn't cost you a dime. It really doesn't. It probably just saves you time of coming to the clerks and standing in line. That's what it saves you. But it doesn't cost a dime to do it. But you can do it at any stage of your litigation. Once you're in it, though, and you said, I just now e-filed in my case, it's told the other side, I can email him all I want throughout the litigation. I don't have to mail a piece of paper to him. That's all. That's what it's done. And I can tell you, when you have a username and password on the e-portal, and to have that in the upper right-hand corner, my cases, and be able to go on there and see what you've done and how you file and trace things, it just becomes efficient and, again, paperless. We get a majority, and I was talking to you a little bit before we started. Pro se, we see a majority in small claims and county civil. As you go up, circuit civil, not so much, because you're into more deep litigation. In family, simplified divorces, a lot in family of pro se people. So we have the packages, a lot of family packages, a lot of small claims, a lot of the county evictions. That's the majority of what our self-service center does, is that. Who else had their hand up? Yes, ma'am.
Real quick, 2 questions. First, the packages, you said we could find them online. Are we able to find the instructions online too, and what document should be filed at what time, or would you find that in like just the procedural?
Yeah, no, the forms that are in the packages are Florida Supreme Court forms. If you go on the Florida Supreme Court website, you will see forms, but they're individual forms. They're not going to come with instructions. And that's why we put together our packages that come with instructions. But that's the difference between the Florida Supreme Court and our packages. We decided to make it a little bit easier and walk people through the procedure of it.
Okay, and is it electronically given at the self-service? Or am I gonna have to retype?
No, it is given, we sell them in paper form. And like I said at the beginning, we're hoping for evictions, small claims, and simplified divorces that the e-portal, hopefully, we're testing it, but those 3 types of cases where you can answer the questions like the turbo, and your form would be done electronically. But everything now, you would have to fill it out. We have a scanner in the self-service. So let's say you finish the petition and the civil cover sheet. Once you're done with that, you can go over to the e-portal, scan it right in, PDF, and you can download it onto the e-portal. Yes, sir.
What if you don't know where they live to serve them, but you know where they work?
You can look under the rules of civil procedure or under the Florida statutes regarding service, but it does provide you that information on, I have no idea, it does give you the ability to serve people at different places. It does. Look at the statutes. Again, I don't want to give out legal advice, but under the statutes, it will tell you exactly where and how you can serve people. And it's, I'm trying to think of the statute, 20 for service. It's under the Florida statutes. And I'm not sure which one. You can do, you know what? You can Google just Florida statutes, and it's going to pop right up, all the statutes. Yes, ma'am.
Some of the forms, so when you're filling out these pro se forms, sorry, this form is pro se, but you check mark like how are you serving the other party. Some of them don't. Some of them include like emails, what you're doing, but some of them don't. I ran into that actually recently, so I went ahead and checked mail. I scanned it. I sent it through the normal e-service process we've been using, the e-filing process. And then I also went ahead and mailed it, but I wasn't sure if I needed to do that because I don't want to add a little section.
Okay, when you went onto the portal and you filed a document, when you went to the service, are they already on there? Because they've been, then you just need to serve all or serve them. You've served them. You don't need to serve them by mail.
But what about on the actual form that I got from
You should, well, because a lot of our self-service people, and we're trying to, that's why we're trying to educate about the e-portal, you would either click, and attorneys do the same thing. I either served them by U.S. mail, I either hand-delivered it, or I did it by e-service or email. So you just have to pick one.
But what the form, I actually have.
Does the form not have e-service on there?
I can tell you which form it is. It's the objection. Is it? Objection to order of referral to the magistrate.
Okay.
Copy I got recently.
Yeah, we use a lot, and this is we're here. Technology is bumping heads with where we try to use the Florida Supreme Court forms because we want to be exact with the forms, and they haven't caught up with technology yet. But you literally can put e-service. You can put e-service. Sometimes their forms don't change. Sometimes we try to catch up and change our forms, but sometimes that will happen.
So we'll just write it in.
Yeah, e-service.
And then actually kind of related to that, the thing about confidential information.
Yes.
So in the bottom, you put in your information as the person, I guess, filing that motion. Or
Right.
Well, that has my email address, that has my phone number, but I guess I'm not supposed to read out that, right? I guess that's where I'm a little confused.
No, and you don't have to. You're on the signature page, the other party, that you're not, yes, and they should have your signature page, and again, under the rules of civil procedure, it must have your address, your phone number, and your email address. So it does not have to be done. It can be. That's why it's under 2.425. The clerk would never redact your email address, and we would never redact your phone number. We're not going to do that. But the other party needs to be able to get in touch with you. I want to show, what did I want to, let me go back here. Because I want to show you where when you're e-filing, and it's on a bunch of pages. Let's see. I know I put it on here. It literally, when you get ready to submit, at the end when you're doing your documents. You see this in red warning. As an attorney or self-represented filer, you are responsible to protect confidential information under the Florida rules. And it literally gives you 2.420 and 2.425. Before you file, please ensure that you have complied with these rules. Another thing to mention, like we talked about the birth date, if you're in a family case and the birth date is required, let's say of a child or someone, the birth date is required for the court to have jurisdiction, or there's a reason that we need that, you can't redact that birth. So there are exceptions under 2.420 and 2.425. You can read the exceptions. I think there's one, property addresses. If the property address is at issue in the case and the judge you can't redact the property address. So there are some exceptions under these rules, and you can look at that. But the other side needs to be able to have your address, your phone number, just like any attorney, phone number, email address.
One last one.
I was going to say, Chapter 48 covers service process.
There we go. Florida statute, Chapter 48. You can look at how you serve people and where you can serve them.
Chapter 48?
48, Florida statutes. Anyone else?
I have
Yes.
one last question. So I know in e-case view, you said if there's no document, no little paper icon or the law or whatever listed, you're not supposed to have access. Well, if it's your case, like you're a plaintiff or the defendant, is there just no chance of ever, let's say you're not sure you have...
You have to come to the courthouse. Right. You can come to the courthouse and it's different, but when it's on the internet, there are certain things we're not going to put over the internet. Now, if your case has been, if a document's been sealed or expunged, only certain people are allowed access to it. If it's expunged, forget it, it's gone. But sealed, only certain people. If you're a party to the case, then you may have access to your sealed document. But you have to come to the courthouse. Yes, Terry?
I just wanted to share one thing about if there's no paper icon or the lock or anything. If it's an older case, it may just be that the document hasn't been imaged.
Right.
So you can request that we scan it so that you can view it. And there's also, in the rules of judicial administration, records retention guidelines. We don't keep records forever.
Right. So yeah, exactly. I think we have back scanned, I think, part of through 2008. So anything before that, if you're looking at old cases, you may have to request it. We will then scan it and we can put it in the computer. And then there's also, like she said, the retention. 10 years, 5 years, cases are gone. Yes, ma'am.
You said that this test will be available on your website.
Yes.
Do you have the previous one, the last one?
Yes. Are they already on the website? The last two, the tenant eviction and divorce. Have we got them on there? Because I know we have the toolbox in some of the forms.
The PowerPoint is, the video is still being...
Okay. So the PowerPoints are there, and they'll be getting the audio on there, and we'll be doing all of them. And we will be doing these again. The tenant landlord eviction, definitely again, it's a popular one. Definitely divorce, that's a very popular one. We're trying to get people interested in the e-portal and e-case view, so we'll be definitely doing that down the line. But we hope to do these once a month.
Can you put the website back?
Sure. Absolutely. Our self-service center, we're open just like the clerk's office, 8 to 4 daily. We'll be happy to help, and especially with the e-portal. 1 second, yes.
She asked the question of the previous PowerPoints. Where can we get that? On the Palm Beach County?
Yes, it'll be on ours, and it'll be under Palm Beach County Clerk. Nana, do you know where we put those under the Palm Beach County when they go onto the website? They're going to go under public.
You mean these items?
Yes.
The PowerPoints and the self-service center.
Yeah, okay, so under the self-service center, you can go, like I said, the first month, February, was tenant landlord eviction, and the second was marriage dissolution. Yes.
Yeah, this online technology is fabulous, but do you foresee that taking this forward, that maybe we'll be able to use Skype and stay at home and not have to go into a...
I think the judges would love that. If they could stay at home on their couch and just talk to people, I think they'd be the first in line to sign up for that. But probably, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting because I know in some criminal cases, some of the courts, they don't even bring the inmates. They'll do a video. Some like it, some don't. So you never know with technology where it's going to go. Who knows? I mean, this is great. Yes, sir.
What time is your self-service center closed?
4 o'clock. The clerk's office closes. 8 to 4 are our hours that we're open.
Where is it?
Right out here and to the right. It's right here on the first floor. Right on the other side of this wall.
But it's closed.
What time is it? Yes, I would guess it is. Yes, it is.
Branches.
The branches are 8 to 4, but north and south are closed on Fridays, which has been for a while. I think it's been almost a year that we've been closed on Fridays at the 2 branches. Now in Belle Glade, we're still open on a Friday. But north and south and our mid-county are closed on Fridays. But we're open 5 days a week. So, thank you guys.
Thank you.